Okay, so the quote is, my question today is, do you have your anchor down? Do you have that hope, that expectancy? Or have you pulled up your anchor and now you've drifted into doubt, mediocrity, not expecting anything good? Put your anchor back down. Now, Hebrews 11:1 says, faith is a substance of things hoped for. You can't have faith if you don't first have hope. You have to believe that what God put in your heart will come to pass, that you will accomplish your dreams, that you'll meet the right people, that you'll live healthy and whole. End quote, Joel Osteen. Now, we're talking my testimony, right? Now, let's just be clear, because I haven't always been like a hopeful person. I haven't always been filled with love and light and all the things that you see here. Just scroll back my archives. I leave all the footage there. It was dark. It was all the things. And that was my truth. I walk in it. I own it, all the things. But God had been working on me in those shadows. And once I finally allowed myself to get out of the way and feeling like I had to have tight control over everything, then he was able to fill me up with light and hope. Now, the way that I walk through life now, well, let's just start off with how I used to look at things, right? When we talk about optimistic, pessimistic, all those things, right? I used to look at the glass not only half empty, but I was like, somebody's going to come over, they're going to knock it down, and then they're going to spill it. It's going to fall on some doggy dung, and then somebody's going to tell me to go lap it up because that's my only source of water, right? And otherwise, if I don't lap that pool water up, then I'm going to die of dehydration. That's exactly how I looked at life. That's why I can come up with that narrative just like that, right? Because deep down, that part is still within me. However, I've healed enough to be able to acknowledge it and recognize that that's no longer my truth. It's just who I was, not who I am or will be, right? Now, let's talk about hope. The way I look at life, y'all, and this is so real, I was even talking to my husband about this today, is that I have an expectancy of like the most outlandish things happening. I use my imagination for good instead of what I used to use it for bad, thinking of the gloom and doom and worst case scenario and all those types of things. Instead of picturing worst case scenarios, now what I do is I say, you know what? I want to talk to everybody, not only because I'm curious about them and I just love people and I want to know their stories and all those types of things, but in my mind, I'm like, somebody's just going to come up to me and randomly be like, you know what? I dig you. Here's a check for $1 million, no questions asked, tax-free, no strings attached, all of those things. Or maybe the person that I'm talking to doesn't have those types of means. Like, listen, I get it, right? But maybe they're connected to someone who actually does. And they're like, you know what? I was talking to this woman. Her name is Marissa. She's with the Give and Receive. She does all these things. And I really want to bless her, but I don't have the means to do it. However, I know that you do, best friend. So let's go on ahead and bless her. That's the way that I look at life. And that's not to say that the only reason I talk to people is because I'm waiting for my $1 million check. I mean, listen, the Lord gonna bless us how the Lord is gonna bless us. I use that illustration to just further illustrate the fact that hope should always be there. We should always be looking for great things to happen, right? And even in the event that terrible things happen, we have to get into a space of, well, I'm saying we, but I'm talking about me. I always try to get into the space of, even though the situation sucks, I hate it, I don't like it, none of the things. I know that there's going to be a lesson there, and there's also going to be an opportunity at the end of it. Maybe while I'm going through it, I might not be able to see and kind of navigate and break down the terminology and all those things right then and there because it sucks in the moment. But at the end of the day, when I reflect upon everything that's happening, because that's what I do every day, then I can say, you know what, Lord, I trust you. I have faith in you. So in my faith is where I have hope. Listen, my boat floats with hope. That's the way that I continue to keep going. That's the way that I have love and light and all of these things. Again, that doesn't mean that I'm always positive. That doesn't mean I never lose my temper or anything like that. Or that doesn't mean I don't make any mistakes. But when I anchor myself to God, i.e. faith, i.e. hope, then there is literally nothing I can't accomplish. Right now, I always refer to the boutique because I feel like that is a mission from God to clothe others, to not only clothe them, because if we only stop at the surface of what the give and receive is, then all we're thinking is fashion, right? Oh, I'm giving you clothes. But no, I'm opening up the door for opportunity to have conversation, for people to be seen, for people to feel heard, for people to be loved, to plant the seeds of opportunity and hope within others, because I'm sharing my truth with them and allowing them to share their truth with me without judgment, without fear. I am creating a community, and all of this is driven and fueled actually by God. I allowed that seed to not only be implanted in my heart over 5, maybe 6 years ago at this point, but when he said go, I allowed my faith and hope to override any fear that I was feeling. Because listen here, I always felt fear. I always spoke with fear. I would tear up and all of those things. And I still have those moments now, but I do not allow that to control me. I do not allow the enemy to have control and or power over me. I do not allow my circumstances to dictate my future. I've been in situations where I've had health problems. I've been in physical pain to the point where I couldn't even move, right? I lost feeling in my hand, in my arm. I almost died after giving birth to my twins. I lost 8 liters of blood. I hemorrhaged. I almost died. I had to have an emergency hysterectomy. I've had MRSA before. I've been physically abused before. I've been cussed out. I've been disowned. I've been lied on. I've been everything you can think of. I've been poisoned. All of these different things. I've had an ice brick fall off of a 3-story building. Now I know what you're thinking. Like, listen, you think like, oh, okay, how are you so positive with all these things happening? It's one, it helps me not take anything seriously because listen, your time can be up just like that, right? And this little hair is driving me crazy. But the bottom line to this bottom line is I'm divinely protected. I'm here for a reason. Now, some people might laugh and joke and be like, maybe God just does not really want to meet you because he had many opportunities to open that door. But the way that I look at it, hopefully, is that he still has a reason for me to be here. Even through all of those tumultuous situations and circumstances, instead of just feeling like doom and gloom, depression, even though, of course, I've experienced all of it, instead of residing there, I chose to pack my bags and move from depression and anxiety and all those things into a space of hope. And let me tell you, the rent is cheaper and the views are much better. Okay. So bottom line to this bottom line is start expecting good. But not only don't just expect good, do the work, because faith without work is nothing. So when God plants that seed in your heart, don't start going to a negative space. Don't start selling your or telling your hopes and dreams to people that are incapable of lighting the way, of showing you that it is possible. Don't go to Debbie Downers to sell your dreams and expect them to be positive, to cheer you on. No, instead, go to that internal space, and when those thoughts come that are negative and dark and saying, you're not worthy, you can't do this, and all of those things, say, nope, that's the voice of my past. That is not the voice of my future, and let alone it is not the voice of my God. Allow God to fuel you. Allow the light to pour into you. I know it's easy to go into that angry place, that dark place, that depressive place, but listen, over here on the other side is much better. Like I said, rent is cheaper and views are much better. That doesn't mean life is going to be all roses and daffodils, but it means that you're going to be able to move through it a lot easier, and you will be able to seek out the lesson that He is intending. So accomplish those dreams. Think to yourself that everything is happening for your good, and then you will start seeing the table start to turn and the algorithm of your world and life start to move in favor of the way that you are actually feeling, as opposed to the way that the world is telling you you need to be. So light up the room, light up the world, be hopeful, be you, be authentic, and lead with hope, love, and faith. That's it.